Hello everyone. Before viewing, be sure to like it. From the first frames of this manga, we are greeted by the ordinary world, and more specifically, the school playground. Physical education lesson, and our main character is next in the pull-up. He looks excited, and you can immediately tell from him that physical education is not his strong suit. The next Lin Shen. A short blonde guy, thin in appearance, his body directly shouted, "I'm a hicka to the core." In general, he looked clearly unsportsmanlike, but after standing for a while the guy gathered courage. Swinging his arms and having previously sat down, he jumped on the horizontal bar. The guy let out a soft sigh. His whole body turned into one continuous tremor as soon as it touched the crossbar. One moment and the scales filled the platform with laughter. Yes, as you have already understood, unsportsmanlike boys in this class were not liked. Ha ha ha, Lin Shen, you can. I bet you can hang for 10 seconds. Hold on, stop dreaming. He won't hang for 9 seconds. Meanwhile, Shen was hanging with the last of his strength. The number 8 appeared on the stopwatch over the horizon, and he gave up. Ha ha ha, only 8 seconds. Lin Shen fell to the ground and sat exhausted, enveloped in the laughter of his classmates. This is a new record. Last time it was 7 seconds. Ha 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 ha. Lin Shen, a third-year student of the 8-second boy. After the boy got sick as a child, his body became very weak. He was very poorly given physical activity. He was considered weak trash. Even the physical education teacher seemed to have given up all hope. Lin Shen, try harder. The exam is coming soon, the physics test, you won't even score 1 point. Lin Shen often thought to himself, no matter how hard he worked on other subjects, he would not be able to change the fact that he was a weak-ass, physical trash. Everyone will remember him that way, and his fate is to be ridiculed and intimidated by people. After school, the guy went to the post office. He was supposed to receive a package from his father. A familiar postal worker found the boy's parcel. It came from the southern part of the country. The illness that Lin Shen got over in childhood spent all their family's savings. They even got into huge debts because of it. To earn money and pay off the debt, the father left the boy with his mother and went to the south of the country and worked hard. With these thoughts, Shen opened the carefully packed parcel. After opening, a magnificent Godzilla figure fell to his gaze, and a letter was attached to it. The guy was childishly happy because it was not just a dinosaur figurine. It was handmade, with all the details painstakingly highlighted. A smile spread across the boy's face. After looking at the figure, Shen opened his father's letter, and as he read it, tears formed on his face. The father congratulated his son on his upcoming birthday and was very sorry that he would not be able to attend, which is why he sent his son's favorite figurine as a gift. The father hoped that no matter what difficulties his son would face, he would always be able to be like Godzilla and would boldly go forward without fear. Become a strong, hardy, brave little monster. Tears formed on his son's face. He was really touched by such a letter from his father. But still, he understood that it was very difficult to become strong. At that moment, someone snatched the figure out of his hands. Turning around, he noticed his classmates' bullies. Such an adult already, but still loves to play with toys. It's clear why you are such a weakling. Shen jumped in an attempt to snatch the figure, but it was all in vain. 3 of his classmates, much taller, just tossed the toy to each other until one of them missed and threw the toy on the road. Shen ran after her without looking around. He no longer heard the cries of "Stop, idiot! Look at the road!" It was important for him to take back his father's gift. And only when he approached Godzilla, the guy heard the sound of a motor to his right. Turning around, he saw the headlights. One moment and Shen is already unconscious, and the stupid classmates are frantically trying to call an ambulance, but Shen no longer hears this. Before his eyes there is only a black, impenetrable void. My head was filled with thoughts of really am I dead? After a while, he still managed to open his eyes. What? Where am I? Shen is in the water. Fish were swimming around him as if nothing had happened. For a moment he forgot about everything and enjoyed the beauty of the place where he found himself, but the memory still gradually returned to the guy. He came to his senses especially quickly when he looked at his hands, because now they are not hands, but paws. But panic seized him even faster when he saw him. Tail. Is that a tail? What's going on? Am I not dead? Such questions filled the young man's head. He thought he was in the afterlife, but what the hell is there water, fish, and what the hell does he have paws and tail? Thoughts were interrupted by notification. Ding dong, Kun is online. The detected carrier has regained consciousness. The monster sign evolution system has been activated. The first thoughts were, what the hell is going on here? Did I hear that right? Did you say evolution system? Shen couldn't come to terms with the fact that he wasn't dead. The system replied to him. I'm not talking nonsense, honestly. Please open the status window. After the discovery of the status, suspicions instantly evaporated. Shen is really alive. Besides, he now belonged to the Thunder Dragon race. He also saw his full description, down to height and weight, where it was indicated that he was now at the larva stage. At some point, Shen thought that he was crazy, because this just can't be, but then he just moved his tail. The movements were so smooth and real that it seemed he was born with this body. The voice of the system asked if Shen would like to log in. And of course the guy agreed. It turned out that his place of residence was the Mariana Trench. In addition, it turned out that he immediately had an S' rank ability, which allowed him to eat living organisms in exchange for experience. After discovering and reading this skill, the little monster immediately wanted to eat. His stomach just howled from emptiness. In search of food, the guy decided to go to the light radiating in the dark. Having sailed up to this light, the system notified in time. Deep sea devil, also known as lantern fish. It has a large mouth with huge teeth, looks very ferocious. There is a small lantern on its head, with which it sits down prey. What the hell? With which it's. Shen's first thoughts were that in life the lantern fish is as terrible as on the internet. And while he was thinking about it, the lantern fish, to put it mildly, was afraid of such a huge thing and hurried off. Shen, frightened by the fish, turned to the other side, but the system reminded him that this fish is smaller than his paw, so pumping is not waiting. Shen waved his tail and stunned the fish. The taste was very similar to what his father once cooked for him. Pretty tasty, better than it looks. The sounds of slurping were interrupted by the notification. Ding dong. You got 5 evolution points. Deep sea angler fish. Congratulations on eating it for the first time. You have received a special ability. Lighting. Skill level C lighting. You can no longer worry about studying and lighting when the lights are turned off in the dorm. The system did not deceive, and Shen got a new skill. It was enough to pronounce its name in his head, as the entire dorsal fin of Shen was covered with bright light. The inhabitants of the sea were immediately attracted to the light. It was decided not to waste time and take advantage of this. For a while Shen ate all the fish that he came across. Ding dong. Plus 15 points deep sea aravana. Plus 50 points for the first time eating deep sea aravana. Plus 8 points. So eating various fish, Shen gained night vision. Some time later, Shen had already eaten 1,000 evolution points, hoping for development. And so the system offered pumping. The choice fell on claws, scales, and body shape. In just 500 points, the size increased by a meter, so growing to 100 meters is not such a difficult task, Shen thought to himself. Suddenly he was visited by thoughts, and where is he at all? What year is it now, and is he in his own world at all? To the questions asked, the system answered simply, the owner himself must investigate and discover everything. Interesting, Shen thought, to investigate everything himself? Am I in an open world game? And anyway, the Mariana Trench means that I'm on the ground, but it's too early for me to go outside, because almost certainly I will be immediately fired at with missiles, and it will be unpleasant to put it mildly. You need to grow up. With these thoughts, he went to eat fish further, but something got in his way. The next moment, he was grabbed by a huge tentacle. And when it seemed that his song was sung, it turned out he was saved. A huge sperm whale, accompanied by a notification of the system with its parameters, grabbed the octopus with its teeth and swam away. Now our little dragon was thinking that he was not as big as he thought at first, and that he was still far from a really big Godzilla. But he also thought that now that he was a monster, He would not hide his head in the sand and endure all the insults. He was going to give his all. All the insults from school immediately came to mind, and now he was going to become ferocious, bloodthirsty and cruel. Now he's at the top of the food chain, and now he's not planning to run away. With a loud growl, he swam to the octopus and bit off a piece of its tentacles. It tasted good, similar to fried squid, but juicier. The system notified that he got 21 points, and that's for one bite. The smell of easy money was felt, and he began to bite and bite. And so Shen and the sperm whale ate a squid in half. Ding dong. You got 3,000 evolution points for eating the Lord of the Deep Sea. Although he ate only half, but he got as many as 3,000 points, it turned out quite profitable. It was decided to improve immediately. Our dragon reached a size of 8 meters and a mass of 24 tons, but its stage remained underage. Suddenly, the system congratulated the king of the deep sea on eating once again and provided a gift, a monster compass. Level B skill. If there are monsters nearby, the compass will be able to indicate their location. Well, it's useful if I know where the monster is, then even if it's bigger than me, I'll have an advantage. Okay, let's go. A week later, Shen was already 30 meters in size. However, he miscalculated going to shallow water in search of sharks, and now he wandered off to nowhere. After logging into the system, he discovered that he was in the waters of the polar islands, for which he was given a new skill, Ding Dong. The skill is obtained Explosive Breath of the North, skill level S. It turned out that when logging into new places, skills are given. In addition, the compass showed that the island was full of monsters, and Shen decided that it was necessary to surface to see what was there. And now a huge 30-meter dinosaur is walking on the ground. This place turned out to be like a piece of prehistoric Earth, where all the insects were a meter in size. Shen liked it very much. His thoughts were all in the pumping, and the prospect of eating prehistoric creatures pleased him. The stream of thoughts was interrupted by a couple of pterodactyls who decided that a huge 30-meter dinosaur from prey. Shen was only amused by this. With one deft bite, he bit the pterodactyl's wing, and he fell powerlessly to the ground, accompanied by congratulations from the system and another 1,000 points. Godzilla was tired of seafood, so he was incredibly happy with the new dish. After finishing his breakfast, he decided that now was the time to try out a new skill. Shen imagined the skill in his head, and the next moment his whole body was filled with energy. His back began to glow bright blue, and a clot of light began to form in his mouth. It seemed now that the remaining creatures were unwell. However, something went wrong, and instead of a powerful blow with ice, there was a zilch. Pterodactyls caught the moment and attacked the whole group. Damn, why are there so many of them? It turned out that to use it, you need to concentrate and fill your whole body with energy. The system gave a hint, and Shen decided to try again. The pterodactyls pounced and started pecking at Shen, which suddenly reminded him of a situation from his past life. At that moment, he felt a surge of rage, and concentrating, he threw it out. His body shone again, and a huge blue ray splashed out of his mouth, which easily broke most of the lizards. The beam was so powerful that it even penetrated a nearby mountain. I did it. Shen's feelings were as if he had been squeezed out like a lemon. He needed to restore his strength urgently. Having finished with the pterosaurs, the dragon got a fair amount of points. Now he had to get drunk. Approaching the lake, he noticed that something was wrong. An island of unnatural shape was visible in the middle of the lake. It seemed suspicious. Shen decided to get drunk as quietly as possible, but as soon as he fell to the water, the island moved and a huge Dashan cow fell to his gaze. It was in every sense a cow, with a huge island shell on its back. The length of this miracle was 90 meters, with a mass of 180 tons, the system quickly prompted. However, Shen failed to examine the cow properly. The reason why no one drank from the lake appeared. Imperial crocodiles instantly undressed with a cow. They hunted in groups, so the cow became an easy prey. It would be necessary to show who is the main predator here. With these thoughts, Shen rushed into battle. However, he was stopped by a loud growl. An ancient barbarian monkey jumped out from behind the mountain. It was so huge that it easily grabbed the crocodile by the tail and swallowed it. Watching how the giant was scattering crocodiles left and right, Shen wondered what could attract her attention, and such an opponent was too tough for him right now, so he did not annoy her. Therefore, he politely raised his hand, waved it and was about to leave, but missed the moment that gorillas raised their paw, only when they asked them to give something, which made the big guy furious. Powerful attacks fell on Shen, however, although the shots were strong, but they were full of holes and flaws, and the latter easily dodged. Taking advantage of the gorilla's uncertain blow, Shen bit her arm and knocked her down with his tail. I wanted to finish the fight with a powerful uppercut, except his limbs are too short. For this oversight, he was instantly punished with a powerful blow from the shoulder. Shen was not a fool and realized that his only chance was explosive breathing, but for this it was necessary to hold the primate, and he began to bite his hands. After another bite, both hands fell into the mouth, and the gorilla wanted to tear it, but then the whole body of the dragon was flooded with a bright blue light, and the next moment the gorilla was thrown several tens of meters. It seemed like the battle was over, but looking closer, Shen realized that he had not inflicted much damage. Suddenly, the gorilla decided to retreat and left. Victory. I'm in charge of this forest now. To regain strength, it was decided that it was necessary to finish the remains of crocodiles. Ding dong. Received a special skill, armor enhancement. It was most opportune. Shen spent the rest of the day killing crocodiles and farming glasses. 1 week later. A lightweight version of explosive breathing turned out to be very useful. With its help, Shen learned how to fry his own food. Right now he was sitting and frying a piece of beef. Having started the meal, he decided to log in. Entry point. At the sea part of Giyuan Island. Entry reward. Level A skill. Atomic breathing. Atomic respiration is an unstable gas produced by a radioactive capsule in a brontosaurus that reacts with air, which leads to the eruption of a flame similar to fog. Ha! Am I really like a European emperor? The system informed that 2 days ago it was possible to get an update on the compass ability, and yesterday on the spiked armor ability. While the huge and majestic Godzilla was enjoying his meal, a red mouse ran up to him, and the system informed. Giant prehistoric rat. Body length 3-4 meters, weight 3-4 tons. Keen sense of smell, picky about food, prefer to hide in the grass to hunt rabbits. Mandarin. How are you on time? Here you go, it's beef today. With these words, Shen threw a piece of meat to the mouse, and they continued the feast together. The mouse reminded Shen of his past life, when he was an ordinary guy. At that time he was thin and small, and everyone bullied him. You're luckier than me, because you met me. From now on I'll be your boss, and no one will dare to touch you. System hint. Current characteristics. Host. Lin Shen. Race. Kui, Thunder Dragon. Form. In the process of development. Bloodline. Lord, with the possibility of improvement. Height. 51 meters. Weight. 255 tons. After voicing these characteristics by the system, Shen thought, with this size, can I take down a gorilla? It's boring to be alone on a desert island. I should find a monster who will keep me company. System, I need evolution points. At the moment, the host has a total of 48,131 evolution points, the system responded. I consume evolution points to improve my body shape. There is a process of improvement. Ding dong process. Are you serious? By 0.5 meters, damn it, 40,000 evolution points increased me by 0.5 meters? The system may have some kind of error? Don, have you played RPG games? Don't you know that the higher your level, the more points you need to increase it? Shen started to get angry. Damn, if I want to become a 100-meter giant, how many years do you think I'll spend on evolution? But quickly calmed down and decided that it didn't matter, he would immediately go to the gorilla. We'll fill her up, and will mark the beginning of their relationship. With these thoughts, he picked up a piece of gray wool from the ground and threw it to the Mandarin. Hey, it's time to work a little, not just eat and drink with me. I tore this hair from the gorilla in our last fight, did its smell remain? Pipipi? Replied the giant hand mouse. Great. Then help me find her. If you help, steaks will be provided for you for a whole year." The mandarin's muzzle just shone with happiness, and drool flowed from her mouth. It seemed that you could even see the same meat in her eyes. Having concluded such a mutually beneficial deal, they went hunting. On this occasion, all the local fauna threw a party with the slogan, "Farewell to the god of the plague, and never come back." Went on for quite a long time. The terrain changed from a green and pleasant forest to a gray and dead desert. The skulls of dead animals were scattered here and there. There was not a single leaf on the bushes. It doesn't look like a gorilla's house, Mandarin. Did you turn the wrong way?" While the dragon was looking around, the mouse was shaking with fear and tried to show him towards a huge hole in the rock from which strange sounds were coming. Are you sure? Pipipi. Well, then let's go in and check it out." With these words, the dragon headed into the cave, taking with him a red trifle, which the latter was clearly not happy about. "You're shaking so much. Don't be afraid, the boss will cover for you." Entering the cave, Shen looked around. In addition to the standard musty smell, part of the cave was filled with greenish fog, and the walls were all in green slime. The ceiling was supported by columns of natural origin. A web was woven between some of them. It's strange the presence of monsters is not felt. Suddenly, the roar of a monster was heard. Shen determined that it was not a very strong monster and decided that he needed to go quietly to see. After walking along the corridor of the cave, the amount of slime and cobwebs increased, and when he went around the next corner, Shen saw a huge number of cocoons suspended from the ceiling. Slime was everywhere. The floor was filled with skulls and skeletons of animals, as well as hatched and whole eggs of various sizes. Is this the spider's lair? Shen was looking around the room when suddenly something caught his eye. This ding-dong barbarian gorilla, ancestry of the ancient evil monster Aozhu, length 45 meters, weight 135 tons. However, there was a man hanging in front of the dragon, glued to the wall with a layer of cobwebs. It was a girl. Shen's heart beat faster when he looked at her. The incredible beauty and body shape of the girl was desperately trying to get out of the web and was making that very roar. Shen thought, is that her? Is she a gorilla barbarian? How did she become human? Besides, a girl. He slowly approached the victim of the spider. She used to be so big, why is she so cute now? And the wound on his chest has not healed. With these words, he looked at the girl's chest. Noticing the dragon, she muttered, "It's you, what are you doing here?" Shen was surprised. She not only became a human being, but also knows how to speak humanly. Maybe the barbarian gorilla turned into a spirit and then became a little fairy? Said the dragon with a grin. In the next moment, the girl looked with horror behind the dragon's back and screamed, "Careful, turn around." It turns out that all this time hundreds of bright green eyes were watching the dragon. Turning over his head, he saw a huge passage and several dozen lizard-like creatures crossed with spiders who were already crawling towards him with their tongues out. "I've turned into a human being. Why didn't you come earlier?" the girl screamed. A green lizard fell from the ceiling and flew at the dragon. "And how do you have such confidence?" The dragon easily caught the lizard. It turned out to be the size of his palm. Ding dong. A dead rotten reptile has the ancestry of the ancient monster, Xiang Liu. It is 1060 meters long and weighs 3600 tons. They live in groups, can spray caustic poison. At that moment, the little gecko was about to bite Shen. "Just try it." With these words, Shen clenched his fist in which there was a reptile so that the latter's head exploded like a balloon and green slime splattered on his hand. "Damn, that's rubbish." The geckos surrounded the dragon and were clearly plotting a group attack. While one bent down on the dragon, the other climbed on his back on the thorns and wanted to taste them, but only lost all the teeth in his mouth. The thick armor ability was paying off. In a few moments, the dragon was almost completely covered with green lizards. Shen thought it was time to teach them a lesson, and his body lit up with a bright blue color, after which the spikes on his back grew sharply and stuck out in all directions, like a hedgehog. Everyone who was on his body instantly fell to the ground without a drop of life. The girl who was watching this couldn't believe her eyes. Oh shit, now the whole body is covered in mucus. An abomination. The remaining geckos desperately tried to eat their remaining hostage victim, but the dragon easily crushed this attempt. Realizing that they could not overcome, the reptiles fled, but Shen only sneered contemptuously, "Did I allow you to leave?" Concentrating the energy in his body, the room filled with bright blue, and the dragon shot out his death ray. All the geckos were fried to a crisp. Satisfied, the dragon turned to his hostage and happily said, "Don't be afraid, little sister, no monster will harm you." It seemed that one could notice how the great cheeks of the dragon were filled with blush. Shen easily freed the girl with his sharp claws, and only now his gaze fell on the beautiful chest of this lady, on which there was a scar from their last fight. Ahem ahem. "Well, I'm curious, how did you eventually become a man?" The girl, having freed herself, began to look for something in the cave. It turned out that the subject of the search was a huge bone, the size of a girl. Is she looking for a weapon? Shen thought, and wanted to explain that he does not intimidate the weak, but suddenly the girl broke a bone on a stone. In her hand she held a small rounded thing similar to a fruit or a vegetable, only already bitten and rotten. With gestures, the girl tried to explain. "Eat this and change." Shen wondered, "Did you become human after you ate this? Oh my god, is this the same devil fruit? A werewolf fruit from fantasy novels? Now you will witness a miracle." With these words, Shen used a lightened fire and lit a bonfire. The girl was clearly impressed. After that, he began to fry the dead bodies of reptiles. He previously tasted them raw, and the taste, to put it mildly, was not very good. Although he understood that no matter how nasty the food was, he had to get evolution points by his favorite methods, and still decided to try to cook reptiles. "Oh, it's quite another thing, it smells delicious." While saying this, the dragon handed over one reptile to the mandarin and the monkey girl. "Yummy." The girl looked at this huge piece of juicy meat with loving eyes, after which she began to devour it. Shen was also enjoying his lunch, but he was still worried about one question. Can a girl turn back into a gorilla? To which the girl nodded her head negatively. To become I can no longer transform. Shen thought about it, but the jungle is full of monsters, she won't live to see tomorrow. Does she have a family? Memories of the time spent with his father came flooding back to him. And he decided. The system, and can you bring it back? Ding dong. Of course I can. I have whole scientific algorithms in me, but first I have to analyze the composition of the fruit. Then I will be able to change its composition, and after eating it, it will turn back, and moreover, it will be able to transform from a gorilla into a human and back again. Great, then let's look for a fruit. Shen even thought that if everything succeeds, he will be able to transform into a human and even return to the human world, and even see his parents. It turned out that the monkey remembered where she picked this fruit, so Shen decided that after the meal they would go there, and he would help her turn back. Ding dong. You have received 625 evolution points for the dead rotten reptile. Congratulations on eating a dead rotten reptile for the first time. You have received a reward of 20,000 evolution points. Shen thought, even if I'm not on Earth, it means I'm in a parallel world. And if so, at least I can become a human and live happily ever after with a monkey on a desert island. A dream. A few hours later. Walking on the ground strewn with a pile of human skeletons and bones, the dragon wondered what happened here, but his thoughts were interrupted by a monkey who pointed to the top of the cliff, where the same tree with fruits grew. If you looked closely, you could see the fruit itself. It looks like a mushroom, but with all its appearance it clearly indicated that it was not the best idea. It's easy, I'm going to get up and pick a few. Climbing the cliff is already a familiar occupation for Shen, and yet he climbed quite slowly and carefully, when suddenly he saw a pterosaur that was diving from a height. The dragon was already beginning to think about battle tactics when the pterosaur grabbed one of the fruits, plucked it and swallowed it. At the same moment, his body seemed to be paralyzed, and a man with a mohawk flew out of the fog that appeared. He flew straight into the ground at an incredible speed. Well, this explains the presence of skeletons on Earth, Shen thought. And without a second thought, he climbed further. It was necessary to pluck the fruit as soon as possible and get out of this sinister place. Raising his head for another leap forward, he collided with something. And it was looking right at him. Ding dong. The bird of death. A mysterious and big bird. Has the bloodline of the ancient beast god Yukan. Height 65 meters. Weight 130 tons. Usually her appearance is always accompanied by death. The system informed the dragon hanging on the rock. Shen made the assumption that the bird is the guardian of the tree. The bird looked down, but it didn't seem like it was going to attack. Hello bird, my girlfriend said that this fruit is very tasty, so I'll take two, and I won't distract you, bye bye. With these words and a smile, the dragon pulled his paw to the fruit. But as soon as he did this, the bird went berserk, she fell off the cliff and rushed at the dragon. Fortunately, at the last moment, Shen managed to dodge and grab onto the cliff to the left. Hurriedly picking the fruit, Shen thought about how to fight back and that it would be nice to pass the fruit to someone. The system. Can you analyze these two fruits? Ding dong. Of course, the system took the fruit and added, it requires 100,000 evolution points for analysis. You have 93,000, the analysis is refused. Damn, if I knew about it I wouldn't spend points, well, there's nothing to do. Meanwhile, the bird flew up and struck the dragon's back with its claws, right in the place unprotected by thorns. Shen fought off this attack with a flick of his tail. The bird moved away, and she clearly did not like the next one. She noticed how the energy was filling the dragon. Now we're going to have a fried bird. Shen fired his explosive breath, but completely forgot about the recoil, which caused him to experience a slight weakness and pain in his body. Still, the blow touched the bird a little, part of her plumage burned, and it rushed down. But it wasn't enough. We need to do this. Hit her with explosive breath and fly up. That was the plan. The falling bird had already regrouped and was rushing at the dragon with might and main. But Shen understood, here was his chance. Taking advantage of the fact that the bird was from below, he jumped off the cliff and fell with all his weight on the bird. Now he was sitting on her back. Get it? A powerful bite in the neck clearly did not like the bird. But she didn't give up. The dragon-ridden bird was rushing to the ground performing various pirouettes in the air, trying to throw off the rider. At breakneck speed, they flew like this for a while until the bird got tired of it and it soared into the sky. Wow, I didn't think it was so beautiful. In my previous life, I did not fly on airplanes, who would have thought that I would see this in this life? Shen thought, but there was no time to dream, the bird again rushed to the ground gaining speed. It looks like her goal was to crash into a rock at great speed. What madness? Thought Shen, grasping the flyer's plumage tighter.
A huge bird was rushing at full speed into the rock. But even in such a situation, Shen did not panic. Oh, I just noticed that there is a lake there. This is a chance. If I can choose the right moment, I'll use explosive breathing and jump into the lake. Since now I have a hardening skin and dense flesh, I think I will not break to death. The dragon clutched the bird with its paws and waited for the moment. And when the bird had almost flown into the rock, he exclaimed, "Didn't your mom teach you not to incur the wrath of honest people?" With these words, the spikes on Shen's back shone blue, and the concentrated energy was released with a blue flame, burning the bird, which clearly did not expect such a thing. Like an incredible mathematician, or by the will of luck, it happened as Shen had foreseen. Pushing off the flame from the bird, they had enough strength to fly to the lake. The bird also received serious damage, because after being hit in the back by a flame, it crashed straight into a rock where a tree with fruit grew, which was instantly broken under the weight of the whopper. After such a strong blow, the bird lost consciousness and crashed right on the mountain of skulls. The fruit fell from the tree like rain in a thunderstorm. Meanwhile, our heroes have surfaced. Ha 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 ha, we won. Sister Monkey, today we have fried chicken for dinner. Shen laughed with his mouth wide open. However, apparently the great mathematician did not take into account the fact that fruits were falling from the sky. Which is why I successfully swallowed one of them. Damn, what did that just get in my mouth? Shen, not really understanding, chewed the thing that got into his mouth. Damn it. Just don't tell me it was a fruit. Before he could even finish the sentence, Shen's entire body was flooded with a yellow glow. No. I don't want to get smaller. The dragon started to speak, but the man had already finished. A pumped up guy, his muscles were sticking out for show. White hair. A bit like himself from a previous life, Shen exclaimed. So this is what I should become after the transformation? These tendons. I must have become a very muscular person. So, I'm definitely handsome. And really, he looked very handsome, especially the monkey stared at him. But there was one but. What? And why? Why did the tail stay? Why did I have a tail after the transformation? It looked really ridiculous. But Shen quickly resigned himself. Now there were more important things. As soon as the system completes the analysis and transformation, I will be able to transform my form again. He spoke while watching the lying body of the bird. Plunging into the water up to his ears, he continued. I don't know for sure if this thing is dead, so walking around in human form is pretty dangerous right now. It took 6,000 evolution points to analyze the fetus. If the big bird is dead after all, I'll bite off a few pieces of it and collect the glasses. At the very moment when Shen said this, the skulls on which the bird was lying moved and fell down. She was alive. Your mother, she's not dead yet? Watching the bird, Shen was surprised. He saw her grab a recent human pterosaur, and a green crystal fell out of it. And after she swallowed him, the wounds on his body healed as if they had never existed. Shen was mildly surprised by this. However, he was lucky, the bird did not notice them. Flapping her wings, she flew away towards the horizon. Ha! Thank God she flew away. Otherwise, she would have killed me for sure. But it's such a loss. I wanted to fry it and eat it. Sighing heavily, Shen thought about the lost glasses. You need to hurry up and find a place to hide, or even better, find some small weak monsters and eat them. It's time to hunt. With these thoughts, they drifted with the current of the water. Even if I don't succeed, I can just find some corpses and eat them. We need to score points as soon as possible. Your mother, I knew I had to bite off a few pieces from the saw of this fucking bird. Meanwhile, the monkey girl had already climbed out of the water, and Shen slowly climbed out after her. And then the girl waved her hand at him, and shouted, faster, faster. Danger. Turning around, Shen saw old acquaintances. Your mother. The imperial crocodile. Gathering all his strength, Shen swam to the shore trying not to become a dinner for a crocodile. Where's your professional fighting ethic? To attack surreptitiously is ugly. With these and similar cries, Shen dodged the giant mouth of the imperial crocodile. By the way, the mouth of this animal alone was larger than the present Shen. Clack. And the crocodile's jaws closed a couple of centimeters from Shen's leg. My God, are you addicted to playing with me? Said Shen, seeing 4 more crocodiles swimming in his direction, and added. I can't do anything with this little body. And if you consider that I got into a primeval jungle teeming with giant monsters, the probability of death is very, very high. But I can't die. I still want to turn into a monster again. Shen worked with his hands and feet as best he could. His body seemed to have turned into a real speedboat. Faster. Even faster. Hurry up. As soon as he had the strength to say all this, I was able to get rid of the imperial crocodiles. Once I was told that in a critical situation and in dangerous moments, a person awakens hidden abilities that he does not even know about. It turned out to be true. Shen was already thinking of relaxing when suddenly one of the green giants appeared in front of his face, and rushed at the guy with a satisfied grin. Damn! These bastards attack both head-on and in the rear. I don't care. I'd rather fight you. Shen exclaimed and jumped right on the crocodile's muzzle, which was either stunned by what was happening, or did not understand what was happening. But the fact remains, he did not have time to open his mouth. And Shen was now showing off right on his muzzle, tightly gripping the crocodile's upper and lower jaws. The crocodile has powerful conductive muscles of the lower jaw. With their help, he is easily able to bite bones like paper. However, the descending muscles of the lower jaw are much thinner and weaker. Because of what the crocodile stupidly weakly opens its mouth. so an adult is easily able to keep his mouth closed with the help of the strength of his hands. Tightly gripping the crocodile's mouth, Shen grinned. Don't think you can easily intimidate me until I'm in the guise of a monster. I still have my brains, so I'm using my wits. But the grin quickly faded from the guy's face. The crocodile realized that he could not open his jaws, and became furious. He began to spin around his axis, trying to throw off Shen and free his jaws. The guy was obviously not happy with such procedures. What to do? If I let him go now, this imperial crocodile will definitely swallow me in one fell swoop. They were standing face to face with a crocodile, their muscles were strained to the limit. It was like the fight of the century in arm wrestling, only Shen's life was at stake. If I don't let go, the crocodile will catch me from behind and tear me to pieces. The situation seemed hopeless, but then the savior arrived. Faster. Shen raised his head and saw a monkey that was hanging on a vine like Tarzan. Grab the vine. She screamed as she flew right over Shen. And the guy decided not to miss his chance. As soon as he could reach the vine, he immediately grabbed and flew out of the water. Wah! It was the real cry of a newborn Tarzan, and from behind came the sounds of the crocodile's mouths collapsing. Grasping the vine, led by the girl, they flew over the water, and landed right on the ground. Well, how did you land? Shen plopped down on his face. And the monkey impressively sprang back on his feet as if he did it every day. Although she probably did. After all, after landing, there followed blows to his chest with a monkey romp. Ha! I was saved by Tarzan's cosplayer girl. The next moment, a crocodile jumped out of the water. And with lightning speed he rushed to bite the guys. Shen grabbed the girl, and jumped back. Fortunately, I managed to. Your mother. Are these imperial crocodiles such master predators? Why can they make such hiding attacks at all? A crocodile jumped from an ambush bed into a tree with its teeth, and it seemed stuck. That's just the belligerent cry of the monkey girl made Shen turn around. His gaze fell on the second crocodile, which was crawling towards them in the back. The monkey continued to belligerently shout at the crocodile. Sis, what are you shouting about? Compared to him, you're Thumbelina. And this bastard is clearly angry. Take a lot of air in your chest, and let's run. Shen blurted out, and grabbing the girl's hand, they rushed to run away. Come on faster. Don't look at him like an idol. Have we eaten so many imperial crocodiles? Otherwise, why do these bastards hate us to the core? Bitch. I've become smaller. And my legs have become shorter. And now I can even run faster than this Hulk. Ding dong. Poor master. When did you manage to become so small? Hee hee. The system that appeared decided to make fun of Shen. Shut up. Better help me. Can I take points on credit and transform into a monster right now? Shen pleaded hopefully. But the system was out of control. Sorry host, but the system cannot be broken. I have my own principles. You don't have enough points for transformation. Shen didn't miss hope and begged in tears. Dear, of course I respect that you stick to your principles, but you understand me. Do you have a heart? Do you have the guts to watch your poor master being eaten alive by crocodiles? Where do you think I should find monsters to devour them and get these fucking points? As far as I remember, even the system does not provide a delivery system. And if it is provided, then you probably need glasses for it too. I don't have them. Continuing to run away from the crocodiles, Shen tried everything. But the system was unshakable. Well, no, I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry, but, Master, you're on your own. The system responded with a smirk on its face. How cruel. Can't you see how I look? I'm naked. My appearance literally speaks. Bon appetit, Mr. Crocodile. Ha ha ha. Okay, I'll give you the skin. So be it. The system said, laughing as if for the first time. Pixels swirled around Shen and clothes appeared on him, suitable for someone who had recently been a dragon. By the way, they continued to run, when suddenly running past a huge tree, the monkey girl jumped on it as if nothing had happened, and began to crawl up. Wow, this girl is not stupid. She clearly knows how to use her strengths properly. Shen said, watching as the girl almost crawled to the branch, when suddenly she turned and shouted to him. Come on, climb up. But I can't. In my previous life, I was most afraid of climbing trees. Well, whatever. Let's fly. Shen gathered all his strength into a fist, and jumped onto a tree trunk right before being eaten by a crocodile. He climbed like a true professional who had climbed more than one tree. This feeling. Clearly not the stimulation of physical capabilities by getting into a critical situation. In my previous life, even using all my strength, I couldn't even pull myself up once. But now my physical form is several times stronger than the one I had in my previous life. Thinking about this, Shen hung on the tree without any problems. And only he thought that everyone was saved. When suddenly the crocodile fell off the run right into the tree. Shen's foot slipped and he flew straight down to the hungry crocodiles. Not good. He thought while in flight. It seemed that his only opportunity was to become a snack for a crocodile, but one gentle but rather strong hand grabbed his hand. It was a monkey girl. She was hanging on a vine, and with a contemptuous face looked at the guy, saying something like, "Fool." Thank you sis. Shen said, and thought. What was that sarcastic sneer on her face? Meanwhile, the girl helped him to grab the tree again, and they successfully climbed onto the branch. Now the blows of the crocodiles were not terrible for them. Shen lay down right on a branch, and took a deep breath, breathing heavily. It seemed the monkey was tired too. The crocodiles kept beating against the tree trunk, but to no avail. After a while, after resting, Shen began to laugh at them. Do you think that if you tiny reptiles rock this thick tree, it will fall? Ha ha, your efforts are doomed to failure in advance. The arrow points to Shen, the one who gets fucked as soon as he is out of danger. With a tight grin, Shen laughed at the crocodiles, and the girl watched him with wide eyes. She stared at him. Noticing this, Shen asked, "Is something bothering you? Come on, talk." And the girl smiled and waved her hand and said, "Hee hee, do you want to practice with me?" Getting angry, Shen shouted out, "What did you just say? Do you want to fight with me?" Suddenly the girl made an aggressive face, and grabbed Shen's hands. "Hey, now is not the time to quarrel." But the girl was not going to quarrel. She pushed Shen away and covered herself, letting out a belligerent cry. Turning around, the guy saw the reason for her actions. Ding dong. A prehistoric giant python. Length, 70 meters. Thickness, 5 meters. Weight, 70 tons. It is not poisonous. They prefer to hide in trees and attack prey surreptitiously. Your mother. Out of the fire and into the flames. Bro, for all the time, I didn't seem to have eaten a single python. So why are you looking at me like that? It seems that this huge python wrapped around the trunk of a tree was not interested in this. After all, the next moment he hit the place where the guys were standing. Having successfully evaded this attack, they realized that escape was their only way out. Let's run. The girl shouted, and grabbing Shen rushed to run away, deftly jumping from branch to branch. Shen tried to keep up with her, and at the same time begged the system to give him the fruit of transformation in order to throw this snake into its mouth. By the way, the python did not lag behind them for a moment. It seemed that his size did not bother him at all. However, all of Shen's attempts turned out to be a failure. To get the fruit, you need 100,000 evolution points. Which the guy certainly didn't have. Shen demanded the fruit, but the system refused to give it out just like that. In addition, it turned out that after the payment, it was still necessary to wait until the system synthesizes the fruit. And while they were arguing, Shen noticed out of the corner of his eye that something flashed next to the silhouette of the girl. He strained all his strength, and jumped to her. Pushing the girl away, Shen found himself right in the snake's mouth. The girl saw this and screamed. No. Shen was swallowed. Fortunately, pythons don't chew food, so the guy was right in the python's stomach. Where am I? What a stink. It's just disgusting. Was I eaten by a python? Fortunately, the irritating effect of gastric juice has not yet begun to take effect. Shen was covered in the sticky and smelly stomach juice of the snake. You can't stay here for too long. We need to find a way to escape from here. With these thoughts, he came up with a brilliant idea. But after I became a human, I didn't have the opportunity to test my skills in any way. Well, let's try. Shen wanted to activate the skill already, and even lit up. But the system stopped him. Ding dong. Stop it. If you continue, you'll just be torn to pieces. You're in human form, don't forget. Man and dragon have different body structure and density. So you are not able to resist this destructive energy. Concentrate the energy that is 1/1,000,000th of the usual explosive breathing. You can't shoot a hole, but this energy will destroy your ability to bite and swallow. In your case, we'll replace explosive breathing with explosive biting. Shen's eyes and teeth glowed blue, and he asked, "Are you saying if I eat the internal organs of this python now, I'll get evolution points?" Fill up the missing points, and become a monster again. Shen opened his mouth and, getting ready to bite, cried out, "Even though it looks very nasty, I'll eat a few pieces. It's nothing to me, a monster." After taking a couple of bites, Shen almost threw up. Ugh. I feel like I'm chewing socks that haven't been washed for a whole week. Ding dong. You have successfully swallowed a prehistoric python. Evolution points plus 150. Great, if you eat a few more pieces, I can make up for the missing points. Shen shouted enthusiastically. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day and bye.